See that? My game is actually controlling the lights in my room. I'm going to show you how I set it up in Unity with the Hue API. Before anything, I want to show how we are able to communicate with lights over the network by making some API calls. And then later on, this same concept will be used in the video game to be able to control the lights, because we will be making some network calls through the video game. What is an API? An API is the middleman that allows one system to communicate with another one. So an API is basically how you get info or data from a website or service, like on Amazon or Temu. If you search for headphones, the API sends back stuff like prices, sizes, colors, and more. With devices like Philips Hue, it's a bit different. You're not just getting data, you're sending commands, like turning a light on or off. I knew I needed the endpoints to actually use the API. At first, I just did a quick Google search and skimmed through the API docs. But then I remembered we have AI. So I just asked ChatGPT and he actually gave me the exact endpoints that I needed. I will be using Postman instead of the browser, because with the browser, I will have to code this myself, which is not really needed. It overcomplicates stuff. With this, I will have to do all the fetching, put in the method, all this extra unnecessary stuff. But with Postman, all you have to do is put the method that you want, get post, put or whatever, the URL, the command, and that's it. There is no coding required. So there are two things that we need from the Philips Hue API. First is to get the IP, and second, to get the token. So now we are going to do a GET request to the discovery.meethue.com to get the IP. Second, we are going to do a POST request to create a user. But there is a problem. When we click send, it says that the link button is not pressed. So we physically have to go and press the button on the Philips Hue bridge. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I have 30 seconds to do this. So here we're gonna press this and run. So now when I press it again, it gives us the username or token. By using the IP and token, we can now fetch the lights. And as you can see, we have 3 IDs, 1, 2, and 3. We can now fetch each light individually by ID and check its content. As we can see in the API response, it's letting us know that the state is on, so the light is on or off. It's also showing us the brightness, hue, saturation, if it has an effect, and so on. But now, the moment of truth. We are going to change the state of a light and see if it works. By using a put method, we are going to change the state of the ID 3. So let's turn it on and let's turn it off, and it works. I opened up Unity, and the first thing I did was download the apartment kit from the free asset store. Then I looked for a lamp that I liked and decided to go with this one. After that, I just wanted to build a scene, so I modeled it after my office at home, and I used the Pro Builder package from the Unity registry to make a quick mockup. I tried to get it as close to the real thing, but I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I think it took me maybe like 10 minutes. The second asset I used was the modular first-person controller, another free one, which made adding player movement super easy. I'll skip over most of the modeling stuff and just show you the end result. I made the room super dark so the lights will stand out more in the game. So I added a light source to each lamp, and you can toggle them on and off and even move them around. For the player, I made this little script where if you press the E key, it basically shoots out a raycast, which is kind of like a laser, and if it hits something, it checks to see if that object has an interactable class on it. And if it does, then it just calls the onInteract method. Each lamp has its own light toggle interactable script, so when you interact with it, it just flips the light source on or off. So now we can test and see if the interactable actually works. So the last step was actually hooking up everything to the Philips Hue API. At first, I thought this part was going to be kinda tricky, but it turns out it works almost the exact same way as we did in Postman. All you really have to do is throw in the IP, the token, and the letter ID, then send it as a put request with Unity Web Request, a special method that they have. Oh, and yeah, I just have to make sure that I attach an ID to each lamp so everything lines up. And here is the last clip where the game is controlling the real lights. Alright, that's the project. Just a fun experiment. But really, the only limit is your imagination and your wallet. Hey, I played with some lights this time, but why not robots, cars, or anything else? If you can imagine it, you can make it happen.